This week on RSBANDB Update, join us for a review of the year that was on RSBANDB Update. We go back and listen to outtakes, bloopers, and some of RSBANDB Update's funniest moments of 2024. This is RSBANDB Update, episode 1018, recorded Tuesday, December 17th, 2024. The 2024 Clip Show. Hello, everybody, and welcome to the last RSBANDB Update episode of the year. And we call it the last, but this one's actually coming out on January 3rd because that's the Clip Show. Just the way the schedule bounced this year is that rather than putting it out on direct New Year's Eve, we're going to be putting it out on the usual podcast launch day. But Tanis, always good to do a Clip Show with you.
Thank you, Shane. It's the Clip Show. If you remember back in the days, Clip Show.
Yeah. Patreon members have an idea what's coming down the pipe.
So it's always fun to look back. I wonder though, will we ever have a day where there isn't a Clip Show because we have just no bloopers, we've hit everything, just boom,
boring.
Well, maybe,
but here's the thing: is that there's always pre-show and post-show. That if the right people are on, it just completely goes off the rails in some regard.
Crazy train.
But for people who haven't been here before, this is a collection of outtakes and clips, some taken from within episodes, some that were edited out, some from pre-show, some from post-show. As such, there is no censor beeps on this episode, so just a fair warning that if you are listening to this publicly, make sure the children aren't in the room. But with that being said, we're just going to dive in to each of these. We have a little beep that actually sounds like the censor beep that you'll hear at the end of each clip that signifies the real folks are talking instead of the clip. So with that, we begin with episode 968, the birthday bonanza, and a pre-show clip from Parnassus.
Have it in the bed with her. It used to wrap itself around her and such.
Okay.
And she took it to the vet and said, it's not eating. What's going on? And the vet said, what, how's it live? What's its cage? I said, it's not in a cage. It's roams around the house. It sleeps in the bed with me. He goes, well, it's just it's getting ready to eat you. That's why it was starving itself. It was
You're serious?
Yeah. Yeah, apparently, it was 12 or 15 foot long. Yeah, it was just stopped eating because it was actually going to eat her. Because of the warmth and being, meat, and they don't care. It's just like food.
Yeah, that's true.
So she ended up getting a big cage for it and keeping it in that.
Yeah, in which case you're fine. You just I don't get the whole bed thing.
Yeah, my pugs sleep in my bed with me sometimes, but snake would be a different thing.
yeah, that's right. Like try to tell a beagle it can't be in the bed. Forget about it. We got dogs, cats, everyone's in the damn bed.
You remember the how that started? I think that started with you and your discussion that you were picking up a snake.
I believe so. Yeah, I am the rehome of a 9-foot boa this year. So yeah, we're chatting about that.
About what you can get in Australia versus what you can't in the US, it seems. So yeah, and that's the rule, right? You can't have anything that's not native to the land, I think you said.
Well, as as an Australian myself, or as adopted Australian, no, you cannot have anything that isn't native to Australia in Australia.
Which
just ask Johnny Depp.
Okay, and of course that one was on the track of eating its owner for people who want the explainer on that. And the snake trends continued because on episode 969, after that first one in the year, the title was Don't Let the Snakes Out, and we have a collection of clips from that episode. Your graphical insights?
He muted himself.
Freaking hotkey. Oh my god, like I keep doing it on accident. Do the last phrase again.
All right.
So sorry.
That's fine.
Fine.
That happens from time to time, and people might not realize it. We have little outtakes like that where somebody forgets a mute button or forgets to speak when it comes to their turn, but it all gets fixed in post, if I remember to, at least.
Yep.
So.
Push here, push to talk, push. Yep.
Yeah. The next clip from this episode. You remember once upon a time I asked you when you were talking about Lee Greenwood in RuneScape? Well, I found that clip here.
Okay.
Has to be mentioned.
Yep, definitely.
Yeah.
From Arendar.
I think we could make a Lee Greenwood song out of this update.
Is that like the I've Been Everywhere song?
I'm proud to be a Gillinorian. Where I know
Still
Spain would
recording,
let me
right?
be free.
Yes. From the Arendar Pass to Ardoin Zoo. Somebody could totally make that song, right?
So AI can probably make that song. I mean, we should probably ask it because it probably could.
The Lee Greenwood, God bless the USA,
all
is
over the
becoming
place.
very famous this year.
Yeah, I was going to say that. So exactly.
And we also had discussion on that episode about certain ways to pronounce various cities in RS.
I used to always think Karamja was Karjama.
Yeah, and I think it used to be written on the map that way because I used to think that
wasn't.
too.
It never was. It just everyone thought that because it's just like this. You can look at it; it kind of looks like that.
I thought that with Berthorpe. I always thought it was Berthope.
I always thought it was Berthrope. So I thought it was.
Can't say I've had any more of those pronunciation things, but the map I feel like back in the day always threw me one way or another, and little do we know we still have the controversy about Ardoin, I believe.
I was gonna say, how do we get Ardoin androgyny? I don't know. It's
I don't know.
I
don't know. Next up, episode 971, Range Supremacy. Apparently you were having stomach maladies that episode.
Oh.
That's when Tanis was out sick with your stomach malady.
Yep.
Everything good from that now?
Of course.
Right on. Good.
Except for this big old that they just took in the beta.
What?
What?
What did you say? You kind of cut out there.
Oh, I said someone took a big old shit in this beta, but yeah. Doing fine.
I don't get what you said. Okay. I have no idea what's going on here right now.
I was trying to, echo what you guys were saying.
Oh.
Yeah, no, I don't know.
Okay.
Actually, it's fine to me. But...
Okay, fair enough.
I'm trying to join the bandwagon, Shane. Slow down. Let me jump on it.
It's 100% clear in the post show, or in it listening to the clips here. To me, at least now.
Right.
Because this was the first combat beta. Thinking of it all the way back to February and everything that was going on with that. So. Obviously things were a little bit overtuned there, but I think we got to a good spot in the end.
Yeah, it's funny. I don't remember it being bad, and then I'm like, oh, well, that's why I don't remember it being bad. I didn't think it was bad then, but okay, yeah, that makes sense.
971 was also a bit of an issue, had a few issues with it in terms of structuralizing things, in terms of where the Patreon spot was and getting the achievements right, and it just didn't feel right. And here's a clip on that was edited out on that. So with that, Bears, you want to start us off?
Yeah, so we got Xanthem Gun getting 99 Necromancy on the
Oh shit, I was
28.
supposed to start us off. Sorry about that.
I thought
Take
you
two.
were just
There's all
winging
kinds
it.
of weird shit going on, Shane. Did we do a Patreon spot?
No, I'm doing the Patreon spot at the end of tomorrow's segment.
Oh, okay. I was like, I don't even know what's going on right now. Shit. Okay.
Yeah, you caught me by surprise there when
Okay,
you
so I
flipped it to
should
me.
I should be very clearly telegraph what I'm thinking in my head then, rather than just assuming you guys are. So typically we put the Patreon ad in at about the 30 to 35 minute mark, and I just went for it that week and didn't put one in because I was planning on doing it the next day because we had an addendum to record, and then I messed up the achievements in more ways than one on that episode, and it just kind of threw everyone for a bit of a loop there.
Yeah, typically sometimes just because we've worked together for so long, we know content-wise back and forth where someone might be going. But when it's, I'm going to put the Patreon in at the end, but we'll see if they notice, don't pick up on that quite so well.
And you know what we were waiting for there? You remember what the segment was going to be?
Yeah, I was going to say it was either like an interview or it was something like that.
It was Modkeeper's look ahead when we were still waiting for the drip, drip, drip of where is Modkeeper and where is the content.
Yep. Okay.
A very tumultuous first quarter of the year it was.
Well, yeah, that's a name I almost forgot, Modkeeper.
Yeah. Another clip from 971 that was edited out. Well, that's it for the patch notes, and I think with that we can move on into our achievements. So I'm going to start us off. First up, we have Eric's with 99 rune crafting. I'm just going to take take 3 on this because I don't know how I got rune crafting out of necromancy.
I'm like, man, I'm fucking blind, but I swear to God, I said necromancy. What the fuck is going on tonight? Like, you're making me question shit, Shane.
Maybe it's all part of the plan. Maybe I'm trying to gaslight you or something.
It's working. I mean, I'm like, what the fuck?
Questioning your own sanity, and then you'll be primed to suggestion. Yeah, that was. I don't know if I was just off that episode or what the hell was going on there, but the fact you knew what the achievement was supposed to be before I did says all we need to know.
Well, maybe the end. Maybe there's a little more to it. Maybe you've been making subtle suggestions, subconsciously for a long time, and maybe we'll see if my voter registration ends up changing.
Or maybe we'll see, just where the listeners wind up at the end of it all in terms of, just generally where they feel the game should be at the end of the year, so to speak. A little bit of telegraphing there. We go to 972, where we did the full treatment of Modkeeper's letter, and the pre-show, Pernasius definitely had some words to say. Not about that, though.
I mean, if
Fair
I
enough.
was gonna be divorced, I figure Australia's probably a pretty good place to be that way.
No, it's all online shit these days. You can't meet a person. Yeah, well, we do have that, but I mean,
Okay,
I
all
I
right.
don't want to keep them. I mean, after you had one for 20-some years, you really just want to visit, right?
Oh
I
my
mean,
God! Okay, it's time to
What?
go.
Just saying.
You guys are making these clips I can't even put on the clip show because they're so racy. Well, it's here on the clip show.
Was that a spicy take, Shane?
Yeah, that was.
No, I mean, well, think about it. if you were, you spent most of your life married, wouldn't you just want to have a good time? I mean, you kind of already been there, done that. Right?
That's something we're going to leave up to each individual person and the laws for where they live. That's what I'm going to say about that. I'm going to be not fun on that one.
Let's say YOLO.
Yeah, you can say that. I'm going to take the sane route on that one. Leave that up to the individual person and leave that up to the laws of the land.
Well, okay, I got you.
Next up, episode 973, the Owl Quest. We have a clip about owl hunting. I didn't do the owl hunting. Sorry, not owl hunting. Owl spotting. Let's just say. Post quest yet. Owl hunting would be an entirely different thing, of course.
And illegal, I think. Yeah. I don't think you can hunt that, Shane.
Does have hunting laws? I don't know about that.
I don't know.
True. If you're an maybe you already have been hunted.
Wow.
Oh boy.
Semantics, right? Hunting versus spotting, same sort of thing.
I mean, yes, but I also stand by. I'm pretty sure it is illegal to hunt just about any species.
Any majestic bird like that, right?
Yeah, bird of prey, I think, is what it would be.
Yeah, that makes sense. And it's all, of course, in the name of conservation too. So, I also talked about the farming patch and this was edited out of the show for some reason. Let's see if we can see why. Bracelet gives you unlimited teleports to the Hanging Gardens, Haunt on the Hill, and the Reflection Pool. The last one, of course, is where Felipe is.
Clues.
Yep.
This is for clues.
Clues and for farming.
The mushroom, yes.
Mushroom patch, yep.
I'm a bad farmer. I haven't planted anything there yet.
That's fine. We forgive you.
You gotta get your shrooms. You need your shrooms, Shane.
When did shrooms become important? Was it just POF?
Yeah, I think so.
The 70s, I would argue.
Not wrong.
I mean, if you guys want to be on mushrooms when you do the show, fine. I'm not going to stop you.
Oh shit!
Maybe I will stop you.
All right, we got permission. Oh yeah.
All right, forget hot ones. Let's have
we're supporting farming
kind
now.
Of ones.
Now we see why. Again, just like the previous clip, we don't advocate any sort of substance use that is not legal in the local landscape, wherever you might be.
But if we wanted to do a hot ones, but with mushrooms, we could go to Colorado.
Oh, is that the case there? I also thought I saw that for
so.
Oregon too. They were considering enabling it for personal use.
And that might be something the Patreons would be interested in.
But
I would be.
You know what's really interesting about this, just to make it something that is a bit timely, is that there have been studies that I've seen that at least the very top surface level of in the abstract and the conclusion on that suggest that psilocybin, the active hallucinogen in mushrooms, can actually be used to great effect in some PTSD cases.
No, absolutely.
So
absolutely, I joke around, but
yeah, right.
No,
and see, that's the thing, is that you need to be sane in this modern era, I think, to realize that if the medical knowledge says that, through a doctor prescribing this and using it in a controlled manner can help somebody through PTSD that hasn't been able to have been helped thus far, you really do have to have that on the table as something to look into.
Well, yeah. I mean, who doesn't have? I don't know. I think it can. Yeah, absolutely agree. And I still think hot ones that would be interesting. But like with yes, we could do versions.
Oh boy. Oh boy. Okay.
Yeah.
Moving on to episode 979 in post-Easter update, where ModKeeper posted about the next quarter of content, and this reminded me of, various things where it looked like, maybe ModKeeper was going to get things on track, and then eventually we know that, that never really happened, and they went in an entirely different direction. That's been much more well received by the players. But on episode 979, I forgot the Patreon spot bits again. Right now, the Patreon folks are voting on the next monthly bit, and the choices for that one are abandoned content of RuneScape, the quest tier list, and the other one is definitely something that I was supposed to remember as I came into this, and this is how I will edit this out. And you can tell which one I was least enthusiastic about.
And the other one.
And the other one. I was going so good there. Anyways.
Like Gilligan's Island and the rest.
Ah, yes.
So people might not realize this. There is no script for the Patreon ads when I do them. So I'm very much at my own wit's end to remember what the most recent episode was that we did and everything that is on the poll to present that to you guys when we talk about that. And, sometimes you just forget. And that happened on this episode. I think you were out sick these 2 weeks, Tanis, around the end of March and the beginning of April. I don't know exactly what was going on there, whether it was sick or family, but I think this is the first time you heard this clip.
Yeah. No, I hadn't heard that. Well, I hadn't heard any of the clips. I mean, I guess I was.
You were there.
But yeah. So,
do you know what happens for Easter when you use hard-boiled eggs?
What happened?
Zerdone's figured it out, and that's the next clip.
My ex-wife hated it. You can't do them up the trees, they'll fall and break their arm. I said, they're kids, they'll be fine. They'll bounce.
They'll be fine. Walk it off.
Exactly. Just rub some dirt on it. It's fine.
Fine. Yeah.
That's what we used to do when we were kids.
Oh, I was always the one hiding the eggs in my family. When I was very little, the first time we did it with hard-boiled eggs.
Oh, God.
Stop doing that real quick.
What happened?
My mother found one in one of her purses 6 months later.
Oh, no.
Plastic eggs from then on.
No. Oh.
I mean, they were hard boiled, so it wasn't as bad as it could have been. But
well, if that shell
yeah.
breaks, you're screwed.
Oh yeah. Yeah. So yeah, all plastic eggs from then on.
Holy crap! Ever done an Easter hunt like that?
I mean, I feel like everybody learns that lesson somehow at some point, or at least it's been passed on. Yeah, we've always done plastic eggs because could you imagine, like, yeah, dude. I mean, I would never. Yeah, I would never find them.
No, and I hate hard-boiled eggs even in the best of times.
See, now I love me some eggs, and I'm down for collaring them, but no, you don't hide them around the house because then the house smells like hard-boiled egg.
Yeah.
Rotten egg.
Yeah. You put ketchup on your eggs?
What?
Do you put ketchup on your eggs? No.
No. I know people do. I don't.
Okay. If I'm having more than, just like a granola bar and a piece of toast for breakfast, I will have an egg on a bagel with ketchup.
Okay. Well, it's almost kind of like, it's on a bagel too, so it's not like you're just squirting in Heinz and some scrambled eggs.
Yeah, and even if I'm just having scrambled eggs straight up, I'll do that too. So.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
All right. Well, no judgment here. Yeah. I like lots. I I like lots of eggs, and I like runny yolks. So.
Oh, I don't. I do not.
Yeah.
I do not. Yeah, I'm just putting that out there to gauge where the listeners are at on that. But next one, we go to Monthly Bit 69, the Quest tier list, and issues with the alphabet.
Just glancing at it, I don't remember a damn thing about the Chosen Commander. But
Wait, how is the Chosen Commander at T, but the needle skips is at N?
Because it starts with the.
because Shane does
It's the thing being inconsistent.
the needle skips, the Chosen Commander, the world wakes.
Oops.
The needle skips has to go down. No, it's totally fine. I was just making sure that again.
No, it's the Shane not knowing the alphabet.
We're supporting you, Shane.
No, don't be nice to him. He hasn't earned it.
If I'm not nice, I might not get invited back.
Or no.
Shane,
I'll help with this one.
The quest list was not alphabetized properly, and as you can see there, Earth was having an absolute conniption with the first, the thes, and then I messed up an O and an N in terms of positioning, I guess.
I was thinking, what a mistake to happen with Earth of all people on the show, because, yeah, that's the kind of thing he would give you a holy hell for.
Yeah, and that's the way it goes and has been for many years, and many people might not realize that. And poor Avernick. Oh, I better be nice to him, so I'm invited back.
I know. It's funny because, like, yeah, like, I love Avernick. He would be coming back. He's a good guy.
Yes.
He's pretty smart on game knowledge.
Aye. All right. Episode 981 next. We were talking about the riveting tales and not thinking correctly about that quest. I hated both those quests.
Yeah.
Yeah, you hate everything that is good, Shane. So I think it's extremely well written. The plot and backstory is amazing.
Any other quests that you'd like to highlight?
No, but I know there's one you want me to.
I'm not thinking right now. Tell me what it is.
Shane. I need you to make that a clip.
I'm not thinking right now of what might be one of your quests that you want me to pick on, but go for it.
The riveting tale of
that's
whatever.
Oh right, that was such a wonderful quest. We talked about it last week. There's Earth again. We were talking about his old school questing adventure there, and the riveting tale of a lily pad labor dispute. That's the full name of a quest on old school. It's about frogs and their labor union, Janice.
Like frogs in their labor union?
Yeah.
I don't remember that one.
No, it's a brand new one that just came out this past year.
Oh, okay.
It's just one of those quests that, completely takes the piss out of itself. So but Earth also found it funny that I said, I'm not thinking. So.
Once again, another thing that, of all people, do say that in front of you, say in front of Earth.
Yeah, I guess that's how it went. Yep. Moving on to episode 982, an actual plan. That's, of course, when we started getting the roadmap and whatnot. But in the pre-show, we had more Australian bits, and one of my sneezes. We'll start with the sneeze. Okay, we're good.
Jesus.
Almost forgot.
You're zoom tight.
people don't normally get to experience that. We typically remove them if they're able to be removed. That one kind of just got away from me on pre-show, but I'll let you fill the rest in on that, Tanis.
Yeah, those you never get used to that. Kind of like the big alerts. You never get used to it. You're just like, huh? What? Yeah. And no warning. I don't know if Shane gets a warning, but we don't get warnings.
No, you don't get a warning because you can't see. I mean, you can't see the video of it, but you know what I mean.
Mm-hmm.
We also talked about beaches in Australia.
That's right.
I thought the beach was cherished by a lot of people.
I mean, I still do it. I mean, I just go down there, sit in the dungeon hole, and just slowly build that up because, it's just like easy. That's where I earn my tokens.
And I think this year they should add like a nude section to the beach. They have a nude beach.
What?
Yeah, a nude beach.
This is not a dating site.
Because they have them everywhere else. They could be free.
No one wants to see me running around nude.
I don't know. Because I forget who was it. One of the mods was asking for ideas, and I'm like,
Mod Luma was asking for it on Twitter.
Oh shit, dude! I wouldn't have.
What new rewards do you? No, she was asking what new rewards and what quality of life change. Oh, Tannis, quality of life change. He wants to just go balls free.
Just cash, man.
At the beach, right?
I mean, it is a European game.
Yeah, and
right,
and you can take any little inch you can get on that, I guess. We also had the question of YouTubers and Pernasius's impression of them there on that episode.
Whatever. Let me buy them all. I'll take them all. Because I'm not, like, I don't have 12 hours anymore, right? Like, but I could do that. I could do that on a second screen if I'm doing some paperwork or something, or this or that, and I should be able to do that. And I don't see anything wrong.
Yeah,
with
and that's the fundamental difference between RS3 and old school. Is it's a difference in strategy, whereas that's okay over here.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I don't think everyone thinks it's okay, but I think it's okay just because.
Well, the funny thing is, everyone makes a noise, but everyone still does it, don't they? I mean, I hear all these YouTubers screaming, "Oh, it can't be on what they're doing!" And then you click on, and they're sitting there, on World 84, right beside you, pumping away with all that stuff that they're complaining about.
Hell yeah! At least I'm honest, right?
The duality of microtransactions is another way of putting that one, I guess.
Yeah, I guess. Yeah, no, that's calling it like you see it.
And isn't it interesting that the three of us have kind of come around a bit, especially with the group Iron Man stuff?
Yeah, I kind of consider it like it's kind of going without sugar, right? Like it's gonna kind of be like a sugar-free diet. Everything. It's still good. I don't know. What I'm not though is like one of these reformed people that are now now have a crusade against it, right? Like,
yeah.
I was, very supportive, whereas now, I can see value either way, however you want it. However you want, I see value there.
Yeah, and the biggest thing I've noticed with playing our group Iron Man is that the game feels incredibly more balanced without the influence of bonus XP, lamps, and treasure hunter.
Yeah, I mean, I've never, It's like sugar. I don't really notice it being out of balance because it tastes good. It's just so
And I mean, and not to turn this into the MTX show, earlier today, I'd been saving up my treasure hunter keys, the earned ones from dailies, and whatnot since about mid-November. And I turned in 75 of them earlier to see if I get the pink Santa or anything else on there. And it was honestly more effort than I wanted to spend to interact with Treasure Hunter and then uncork all the presents and whatnot with that. So it's an interesting experience nonetheless. Maybe I'll talk about that on the main show this week, which is 1017. But sorry for the sidetrack. Episode 983, Mystery for a Dragon. We discussed Requiem for a Dragon and Vorkath in pre-show. As we're completing the ritual in Ungale, Vengeance, Bilrock, and more Zamarakian scouts appear with the goal of
sucking Vorkath. Oh, okay.
Well,
with the goal of harvesting Vorkath's soul. I don't know.
Okay. I was looking for a very nice way to describe what happened to Vorkath in that quest, and there was, what just popped right out there in pre-show. So.
Okay.
And what? Not to me. That was Avernick.
Yeah, I know. You got to pop out to me again.
Yeah. Moving on, we have episode 984, Prestiging Game Jams, the return of Modley's patch notes, and a clip from pre-show about electric shocks. This is an example here, folks, of how these clips go off the rails. Let's have a listen.
It's not perfect, but it helps a lot. I mean, she doesn't have to take her pills as much or anything.
That's what they wanted to do to me here, but how does she go walking into stores with those electromagnetic things at the front doors? The beepers
she's never mentioned having any.
Okay, because a lot of reports here from because they were looking at doing that for me, where they just do an internal one, they stick it in, and you go and get your battery changed every 6 months or whatever. Yeah. But a lot of people were reporting they'd walk into a shop, and as they walk through the electromagnetic detectors that they put on clothes and that, so they beep if you're trying to steal something, were affecting and causing zaps. So they'd walk in a shop and they'd get this huge zap through their back. So I said, yeah, you can stick that one. I worked in a shop at the time, and I was in and out of that door all the time. I said, screw that.
Yeah,
electric shock treatment every time I walked into work.
Yeah, I would have definitely heard about that.
Yeah.
Parnasius there talking about his back injury, and I forget how we got on that story. I think it was somebody that in your family or around you that was looking at getting a similar kind of procedure done there with that.
Yeah. My mom has like a I think they call it like a stimulator.
Oh, okay.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so
and it's still fine, still shopping away, shopaholic, shop till you drop. Never been zapped yet.
We also had a pug alert on that episode, not a beagle alert.
But Iron Man characters limit themselves. Sorry, I'm just going to pause.
That's okay. What are they screaming about?
The garbage man has just arrived. I put the garbage bins up outside the neighbour's place, but of course he's still crashing and banging out there, and they've heard him. So
okay, I'm
just going to close.
Yeah.
No, I'm going to. Yeah, they can stay out.
Yeah, that's fine. Not a beagle alert, pug alert.
Mm-hmm. 3 of them today. But yeah, I mean.
Another case of things happening just on the podcast behind the scenes that get edited out, don't get much fanfare at the end of the day. This time, Parnasius dogs.
Yeah, I like how the pug alerts are like, the pugs are like, I'm gonna get you, and the big alerts are like I don't know, like just someone screaming like, fuck! For absolutely no reason. Just screaming.
Yeah, we don't get the beagle alerts much more with the later recording time because they've gone to bed.
Yes, that's right.
Episode 985, Luminos made his debut on the podcast. Luminos.
Excuse you? Huh?
Is there any specific? I was writing preconceived notions, and I was thinking I was going to say your name, Luminos. I just called you Lotions. Yeah, sometimes the names just pop out of my head. If I'm writing something, I'll speak it, or if I'm reading as I'm trying to type or reading as I'm trying to write, it'll influence one or the other, and it's all pretty much par for the course with me.
Oh, we're lucky Lotion didn't try to contact HR.
Yeah. Episode 986, the high contrast roadmap. Group Ironman mode discussed on the roadmap, as well as high contrast mode. But we have a clip on this episode called Shane's Actually Funny. I don't actually know what this one is about, so let's have a listen. There will be a single new Primal Stone Spirit added. Just one Stone Spirit added to the game.
One Stone Spirit. They're
That's
learning.
makes, yep.
That you got to share
Like
with the thousands of other players.
One. Okay, I gotcha.
You didn't see that there, did you?
Took me a minute.
That's funny.
We're not used to Shane being actually funny. This is new
I know,
territory.
Wow.
He must have got his program updated.
Oh, nasty. But yeah.
You get it now? Just one Stone Spirit being added? Just one?
I mean, immediately right off the bat, but yeah, that was funny.
Did
you get an update, Shane?
No, that was 100% off the cuff. Wasn't planned.
Yeah.
Episode 987 was when we did our cooking episode with Drama Free and Darkest Night, and you talked about your Utah trip.
Hi, friends.
There's not a lot out by the Salt Flats. Yeah, just one.
Oh, that's sad.
There's some goats.
Worst drive ever, by the way.
Oh, it's terrible. You've done it?
Yeah. Well, when I was a kid, we went on a family, just the guys kind of trip through the Salt Flats, and it was this old, 83 Dodge truck with a camper topper on it, no air conditioning. We're like, yeah, dude, we had we'd pull over and wet towels down and stuff. We were had wet towels. It was miserable.
Oh wow, I didn't know you.
But I've been there.
You got the real experience.
Yeah.
Oh, the things that I will not be doing in this lifetime thanks to modern conveniences of air-conditioned vehicles.
You haven't lived.
Yeah, had to crank windows, all that good stuff.
That was from pre-show, and just kind of the back and forth we go. I forget how we got onto it. I think somebody was from around that neck of the woods, maybe Drama Free or something to that effect. In particular, that region. But you'd done that trip before.
Yeah, that was that was an infamous. Lots of stories came from that trip. Yeah, not to mention, if you've ever seen the little hermit crab cages that you know, all beach resorts have these little plastic, cage type things, and the same trip, my brother was collecting brochures. Every every roadside stand, every rest stop, everywhere we went, he had stacks of them, just tearing them into little pieces. He's probably about 9, maybe 10, full blown ADD. He just, he was that kid. Little pieces, tears them all up, and he's stuffing them in this container, and then. Next thing you know, you're just looking in the rearview mirror, and it's just a blizzard. Oh, the stories of that trip.
I mean, that's not the worst stories you could tell.
It was for the people behind us. It was not good.
So they were going out the window, right?
Yeah. He just dumped it out the back of the truck. Yeah. Oh, the topper.
Oh my god. Ay, ay, ay. Monthly Bit 71 is where our next clip comes from. Talking about being disagreeable with Earth. But we did it based off of the rubric above, right? Story, gameplay, rewards, and then... Like, you couldn't just say it was S because you felt it. You have to back it up with the stuff above.
I do think generally Earth was the most disagreeable. I think he had the most opposite opinions.
That's why I brought him on the show.
Please tell me you're still recording. That has to be a clip.
It is.
Nice.
And for what it's worth, he doesn't just do that for the sake of it. It's just it's just a very different perspective on the game, I'd say.
On the game, on life, on
us,
thing, on you. Yes.
Yeah. Okay. But we love him for it. Episode 990, the Damonheim dig site came out. We got 3 clips from this one, including 2 from pre-show, one of which was a very interestingly named podcast that Avernick was going to go see live.
Own way.
Also, I would like you guys to know that had this episode been on Thursday, we would have been doing video this week.
It is Thursday. Oh, sorry, it's Wednesday there, isn't it?
Oh, sorry for that, I guess.
No, it's okay. It's okay.
Fuck yeah, Avernick.
What kind of show are you going to?
Funny, you're the man. Yes.
What kind of show are you going to tomorrow?
A live D&D podcast.
Oh,
sweet. Which one?
Dungeons and Daddies.
Okay.
Are you sure that's the type of D&D that we should be speaking about?
Spank me, Daddy.
That's cool.
No, it's a good show. It's a bunch of guys and they role play dads.
Are you going with your girlfriend?
Yeah.
Oh, interesting. Okay.
She's more into it than I am.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
So I think there's 2 parts of that clip to kind of parse through. First one, would you care to say why you were cheering Avernick on about the no video?
I'm not a fan of video, and it was funny hearing that clip in the beginning. I was like, man, every time Shane says that, it always feels like it's threatening. I'm like, oh no, not another video show. and then you hear the clip.
See, the thing that I've learned with doing video, even if it's just a basic, face cam, is that it helps to point the picture to who's actually speaking and who the person is, rather than just bouncing around. It also creates context clues for when we're about to move on. That's why I like it. And the reason we've actually stopped doing it and haven't done it much is because I haven't been able to come up with a good technical solution to do video to a point that allows me to do it to what I'll say would be a professional level of video recording that gives me different audio tracks for each person and gives me direct individual feeds for each person. We dabbled with that a bit around necromancy, but we had some problems with various people, so we might look at that again in the future to see if that's a feasible thing. But we don't ask anything, Janice, for all I think we care, as long as you're visible. I think that would probably be fine. But maybe that's
no. I mean, I joke. I am on video like the majority of the day.
Yeah, so I can see the fatigue in that then.
Yeah.
Yeah. And the second part?
The second part
about the D&D podcast.
The Dungeons and Daddy.
Yeah, fine, right?
Yeah, I mean, I've listened to D&D podcasts and like YouTube videos and stuff, so yeah, I'm sure that's cool. I wasn't expecting it to be like actual role-playing dad. I
think
it would
that
be
adds an interesting element to it.
Definitely so. Yeah, I mean, I was thinking, like dungeon crawling, right?
Right.
And stuff, but
Yeah.
yeah. So I don't have to roleplay that one. I have been there, done that. Got my T-shirt. Still in the trenches, actually.
Oh, interesting.
Okay. Well, I mean, my daughter's 12 now, but
Right. Fair. Next one. It's just called Tannis Speak from pre-show. Tannis Speak.
Testing.
Okay.
1, 2.
I'm half expecting one day when I tell somebody to speak, they just start barking like a dog.
I'd do it, but I've got 3 pugs here, and if I start barking,
they start barking.
Yeah, exactly. They do it at the TV all the time. I watch the wrestling, and one of the wrestlers on AEW barks. Every time he does, it sets him off.
And when I say that to people, it's basically to make sure first that we got the right audio tracks armed, and to basically just check audio levels there. And obviously went a bit of a different way there for that one.
That's the first time I ever noticed it, and I noticed it immediately. I'm like, that's so weird, because I never notice it, and we do that.
It just sounds like a normal thing we do.
Yeah, it's funny.
And then the last one, I have the problem of saying Ballarat.
Throw them in the same place.
Yeah, that's fair. So let's talk about the brush then. Balrac's Whoa, third try there. Ballarat blah, blah. Fourth try. Ballarat sash brush. There we go. Got it right. Words are difficult sometimes. That's what I'll say. I'll say.
RuneScape words are even more difficult a lot of the time.
Yeah, so. I mean, just based on the fact, some of them can be made up, some of them can be from, different nationalities, what have you. So, I get it. Next up, we move to episode 991, which was titled "Smell My Money." Always having the weird titles here on the podcast. We start with a pre-show clip pertaining to a close sneeze.
Oh, there's the wind-up.
Hello?
I was almost going to be a sneeze. Little do people know that sometimes there is the wind-up, like you say, Tad. It's not the sneezes.
Yeah, that wasn't just a launch.
No, it was there. Yeah. And then, RuneScape is a British game, right?
Mm-hmm.
And there's differences in the English language, whether it be, British English or American English. And being from Canada, sometimes we walk the line between both of those. And there's words in the British side of it that bother you and some other Americans. That's what our next clip's about. And then the other thing people are getting their knickers in a knot about are the racing.
Please don't say that.
Their knickers in a knot? Why?
Yeah, please don't say that.
Yeah, I'm not sure I'm down with the price hike, but I don't wear knickers, Shane.
Oh my God, it's a British
in a knot.
Yeah, and stop saying it. And you can't say the other one too. Sirion said he only said it like one time, and you ran with that. Stop saying that.
Are you appropriating culture again, Shane?
He's telling me not to.
Letters away from a slur.
He's telling me not to say the word niggle.
No.
Oh. Yeah, don't do that one. We've tried to break you of that, Shane. He still does it, Reed.
I know. And every time, it's like a sharp inhale, because I think he's about to say it.
Knickers and niggles, 2 words that are within the British language to use to describe things, and expression, don't get your knickers in a knot. And, both those seem to bother the Americans when I use them.
Yeah, one's definitely worse than the other because just too close. Not.
Yeah, I see that. I see that. And the weirdest part is I feel like it's been mentioned before in, actual Jagex news posts.
I think you're right, but like, yeah, I still stand by. Just don't.
And we also have a clip on that episode regarding Philippe, or whatever his name was. For everybody who is suffering from Philippe carnelian PTSD, you can now consistently teleport to Philippe carnelian with the relevant clue scroll and globetrotter check. Oh, is that how you say that?
Felipe?
Shane.
Or okay, it's Philippe, not Philippe.
Yeah, it's Philippe.
I don't know. I always said Philippe or Felipe.
Oh, nothing is funnier than a friend pronouncing something slightly wrong.
Which I tend to do time to time.
Yes, you do. Daily.
I still think it should be Philippe, but apparently it's Philippe.
Yeah, Felipe.
God.
Like the frog.
Right. Okay. And then that episode we just went weird with asking to smell our money. It's the Canadian price that's going up to $9.99 from $8.99. Sorry for confusing
the Monopoly money.
Yeah, the Monopoly money that apparently smells like maple syrup if you smell it, but
what?
Oh, I know that.
Yeah, there's a stereotype out there that the new Canadian polymer bills smell like maple syrup, but they don't.
Shane, do you often smell?
You should never
bills
smell
when you get them.
No,
bills that are in currency.
No, I don't.
You're more likely to have
especially not like the ones.
We don't have a dollar bill here.
Yeah, exactly.
You don't
No, we have the loonies instead of the dollar bills.
Shane, you can't call them that anymore.
That's legitimately what we call them.
That's
God.
not very PC.
I'll bring some specimens next time I come visit.
Oh, you just keep making.
Anyways, to clarify,
I don't want any specimens of your $1 bills and where they've been.
Thoughts?
So many. So many. Number one, specimens. I don't know how you come up with the words that you come up with, Shane, but yeah. And do you know what our money smells like, Shane?
What?
Well, not maple syrup, more like probably cocaine and crotches, because that's where it's been.
Hence the dollar bill connection. Which I think we went into in post-show. I don't know that there's a clip about that necessarily.
That's why I was wondering, because I'm like, what do they do with the loonies? Like, how does that work?
Yeah, that's what our dollar coin is called. The $1 coin is called the loonie. And people just started calling the $2 coin the toonie.
You have a $2 coin too?
Yeah.
So is that what you tip? Used to tip?
I mean, it depends where you are. I personally don't like tipping, and I wish that would go away.
But the girls are just trying to work through college, Shane.
Not like actually. So a different. Okay, never mind. We're not going down that track. I see where you're going. I thought you meant like, when you go out to a restaurant or something and that kind of tip.
Do you do that in Canada?
We do, unfortunately, yes.
Okay.
That is my favorite thing about other countries in the world that don't do that, is that it's not something to worry about. For me, you get the 10% tip, and if you do extraordinary, you get 15. But beyond that, I really don't like doing it. And I realize for our American listeners that 10 and 15% seems like nothing, but the reality of it is that when it comes down to it, at the end of the day, it's not as big of a cultural thing in Canada as it is in the U.S., as far as I'm aware.
Oh, well, we didn't want it to be. It's just that that's how the stores like it that way. Then we get to pay for the service.
Right. Yeah. We also have one talking about grocery stores in Canada Arm 2.
We're biting off a little too much.
Right, and
don't think we can fix that.
No, and I'm just saying in general, it's something.
This is a larger problem than just RS.
That was my point. And that was my point about this. And I encourage everybody south of the border, if you have the ability. No, sorry.
I was like, what?
Everybody,
those are pesos. That's a whole different thing.
What the hell?
Everybody south of the Canadian border who is American, if you do ever have a chance to come to Canada, take a walk through one of our grocery stores, and you'll just see how
and smell the currency.
I mean, if you want to, go for it.
I really don't.
If you want to, go for it. Our $5 bill, by the way, has a wonderful picture on it of the International Space Station and the Canadarm2.
But we made that.
No, we made the Canada.
Else it on your currency.
We made the
That was
Canadarm.
us.
We made the Canadarm. But
we put the thing in space.
Of course you did, and we helped. But
it's us.
But what I'm saying for
put it on your money.
It is.
We did that. You're appropriating our culture.
Wilfrid Laurier is on the front, and the ISS is on the back.
That's not a real person.
Don't get me to Viola Desmond and the Tens, but another one with lots to unpack for our friends south of the border. Let's just say south of the Canada-U.S. border.
That's great. That's not a real person.
Well, and see, here's the interesting thing. We put former prime ministers on our money, right?
Mm-hmm.
And, other things known as Canadian accomplishments, and Canadarm and Canadarm2 are seen as one of those, and that's why Canadarm2 was on the 5 for a long time. So that's what that was all about. And Wilfrid Laurier is our second prime minister, a person very important in Canadian history. So that's why that was such a big deal there. And actually, just to bring this to current affairs, it was announced yesterday, actually. Tanis, are you aware of who Terry Fox is?
Ooh, no.
He was a 20-something-year-old in the 1980s who developed cancer and set himself a goal of running a marathon across Canada. Unfortunately, he didn't finish it. So it was announced actually just earlier this week that in 2025 there will be a limited run of a $5 bill featuring Terry Fox, and Wilfrid Laurier, the second prime minister, will move to the $50 bill.
Wow. Well, there you go.
Yeah.
Well, that's cool.
And the thing I said about Viola Desmond and the 10 is that they removed our first prime minister from the $10 bill, and he is yet to be moved somewhere else. So, yeah, interesting bits about Canadian money. A lot more colorful than the American ones, a lot simpler to know what you're working with, I feel, than your money. But you work for a Canadian company. You ever had a chance to interact with our currency?
No, I haven't. I've asked a lot of questions, and I give some of my colleagues a lot of crap, but yeah. But I guess they can turn on me now because we're an American company now. But
yeah, that's fair. That's fair.
Yeah.
And then the last one is just called Holes from post show. A little bit terrified to press the play button on this one. Let's see what it's about. How many hole references are we going to have next week?
A whole lot.
You walked into that one. A whole lot.
Okay, that wasn't so bad. And I guess we were getting ready for the beach to come out and the dungeoneering hole there.
Yeah, that must have been it. It's funny because I can't tell if I remember stuff or if my mind just is hitting the same beats because I thought the same thing. I'm like, whole lot. Yeah.
All right, and with that, we move on to episode 992, the end of Daemonheim, which you could probably guess based on the whole. But the first one comes from pre-show. I'd like to think that I practically have an American card, being from Alberta and also knowing tons of Americans, but
you have your Yank card. Wait, that sounded like something different.
Avernick can give me my Yank card because he's from the area that came from.
I'm giving no one a Yank.
A Yank card. Are either of you guys a VI or Vim user?
No. Sometimes. Not a lot, but
they have before when they were trying to be all Unixy and hip and whatnot, they called it Yank instead of cut, right?
Oh yeah, I remember that.
You gave it a yank.
Oh yeah, I yanked all day.
Yeah,
Danger going blind.
Discussion of the Yanks in pre-show, either through Yankee or to Yank in the text editor.
And you don't stop digging. You just keep digging. Yeah.
That's the thing. I was just thinking Yankee there until Zerdones kind of brought it home at the end.
Well, except for asking Avernick for a Yank.
No, I asked him for a Yank card.
Oh, well, I don't know. Maybe that's some kind of slang for asking someone for a...
All right, moving on. The next clip from this episode, Who Needs Pants?
Again.
Open-ended enough.
Unlike our friends the Gnomes, which have not had a satisfying conclusion.
Pour one out.
What are we talking about? We saved that one old dude. I'm happy.
Or our Elemental Workshop puzzles.
Oh,
Who needs pants?
Don't take that out of context.
I'm sorry, what did you say?
I said, who needs pants?
Where does that come in?
Elemental Workshop, the next one of the... We don't have pants yet.
Oh! That's a good
Coming
question.
Up to our
have you ever worn all of your Elemental gear and realized you had no bottoms?
I have, but I haven't realized
had that exact nightmare.
There was once upon a time a Star Trek Voyager episode where Commander Tuvok made his way to the bridge without getting dressed and wore no clothes. But as Avernick might tell you, it's already warm enough in the east that he might not need pants today for it. So maybe he doesn't need them.
This is an audio-only format. You will never know whether I do or not.
Can neither confirm nor deny.
Yeah, and see, that's the thing. Even when we did the video shows, we only had the top
you never knew about
profiles
the
for
pants.
it. So,
heck yeah.
Okay, on that note, where do we go now? One thing after another.
Just keep digging, Shane. You just keep digging.
I'll just move on to episode 993, The Sanctum of the Beach, when Pernasius and I talked about his incredible need to just keep talking.
Last night I went to a quiz night down at the local pub my son took me to, And my daughter, one of her friends it was her birthday, and they were actually down there as well. So we ended up sort of having a couple of teams going at it. First time ever, I got third place.
Ooh.
Won a bottle of wine that I don't drink, but hey. But one of the ones that was actually, you had to be the loudest. They had like a horse race thing. And you got to sit there and scream into this microphone thing to get your horse over the line. What it was, because we were running about sixth place at the time, and you got a bonus 7,000 points for this if you got it. I'm sitting there. I said, "This one's made for me," because I got the loudest. So I'm sitting there. I had to turn and face the wall, but I'm just screaming because I can't see people looking at me. I'm screaming into this thing. Go, you go, thing, and screaming into it. Got first place. My kids were going, "Yeah, Dad always told you had a big mouth." So yeah, it was fun.
It's important that everybody has the ability to have fun like that in the real world, right?
Yeah. I mean, I'm a firm believer. You gotta live today, man, because ain't no guarantee tomorrow.
Yeah, and I mean, hey, today. You're never gonna see half those people again that were in that trivia bar then, anyways, right?
Yeah, man. I mean, just let it go. Just be loose, because whoever thinks you're goofy, somebody's gonna think you're cool, whatever. And who cares? Who cares when anyone gives it? I mean, who gives a shit when anyone?
That's why we're here, looking back at a year's worth of my mispronunciations and digging and whatever else is here.
Yeah.
Speaking of which, we go to next 995, the hunt for ghost implings. The last task of the hard set is volley gowl. Hit an enemy with volley of souls that is charged up to at least 3 residual soul stacks.
What volley what?
Volley gowl.
Volley ghoul.
Gowl.
Ghoul. It's a ghoul. Come on, where's Earth when we need him? How do you get gowl?
Gowl. That's how I've always said it.
Okay,
of course it
fair
is.
enough.
Of course it is.
Come on, what the hell's your name, dude? Of course it is.
It's a ghoul.
Aye. All right, elites. That was the Underworld task set episode, and you can kind of see Zerdone's just, throwing in the towel there. Of course, it's the way he says it.
That's one of the worst I've heard yet, and it is a crying shame Earth was not on for that one.
Yeah, well, he can't be on every episode.
But that one, that was something.
It is.
Oh, that was different.
It is what it is. Episode 996, dance fighting RuneScape style, when Sanctum of Rebirth came out. And, there's also a reference to be made that maybe you'll use this shard and the associated weapons to create life from lifelessness. Anyone?
Nope.
Is this a Star Trek thing?
Yes.
I was going to say it'll be a Star Trek thing.
Yeah.
Okay, you guys got to brush up on your references. Star Trek 2, Genesis device.
Yeah. But listen, 2 is not one that I what is it? Is it 4, the one with the whales? That's the one I always watch.
Okay.
The one with the whales.
Yeah, they traveled back to 1986 to grab a pair of humpback whales because humpback whales had gone extinct, and they needed them to communicate with an alien probe, the whale probe.
Yep.
Sounds like Jagex would be interested in that with other MTX updates.
Oh goodness!
Oh, that's hilarious. That's good.
I hope those J-Mons are watching this episode, Shane.
The RuneScape whale probe, the MTX update we didn't know that we needed.
Yeah. I bet every game company wishes they had a whale whisperer, right?
It's the term specifically for the microtransaction whales. Because the whale whispering did actually happen in Star Trek 4 there.
It did. I remember that was the first Star Trek movie I've ever seen.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Did you go back and watch the rest of the trilogy 2, 3, 4?
Yeah, but I couldn't tell you when.
Oh, okay. Fair enough. Fair enough.
Yeah.
Episode 997, the RuneScape pyramid scheme, talking about what cosplay options were available. Well,
And
I guess people can dress up as Kezalam and the pylons for Halloween.
Yeah, I'm going to be a pylon for Halloween.
Dressing up as
Absolutely.
the pylons. You have two
we
very
require
willing
more
friends.
Vespine gas.
Oh, boy. We're having troubles here this week, folks.
I think...
And we've only just started August, and these clips are just... Oh, my God, they're stacking up. That one's actually kind of funny when you think about it. Dress up as the pylon. Rather than Kezelab from ED5 or Sanctum.
Oh. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, that's where that was from.
Okay. Yeah. I missed a lot of those memes.
This was when you were on your summer break.
Yeah.
So.
And Sanctum, I probably would, you know.
Yeah, it's a wonderful PVM experience. The deaths are safe there. All of them on normal mode.
Which is great, because I'm sure they would happen very quickly.
Yeah.
I've seen the chatter in our group chat and stuff. I'm like, oh yeah, I would last about 20 seconds. It looks like.
Episode 998, diving into Group Iron Man. The first right-click examine on that and pronounce this as 5,000 Castle Wars.
You know, I mean, it's just there's something there to complete.
Would you have done the 5,000 Castle Wars games when that was on comp if that was there?
Yes. Yes.
What?
Yeah.
What?
Yeah. I would have gone for it. It would have been the last thing I went for, but I would have gone for it.
Oh my God.
And I still am going to go for it because it is something to be unlocked, but there's just no rush on it because it's not added to anything at the moment. But it is part of Completionist. So.
Oh my God. I can never fathom doing 5,000 Castle Wars games.
Nope.
I can't even bring myself to do one on Leagues for the League's task.
Nope.
So,
nope.
You know, I think both of us went into Group Iron Man believing that there would be certain pieces of content that we would just never trust or never touch or do. And we'll have to wait and see, you know, when we get there. My two are Temple Trekking and Dominion Tower. I don't know about yours.
You know, I came in with the same view. I probably have more than you do. But that's kind of what I mean, for one, that's what I like about the Group Iron Man, and that's what I like about kind of Iron Man in general. It slows everything down, and so gathering is like important. Like you have to, can't get away from it.
And we're so fortunate that you're keeping our group fed.
Oh, yeah. Try to keep everyone going, and then and then bounce back and try to work on other stuff, and yeah.
You're free to be doing whatever you want.
Oh no, I like what I'm doing. It's all it's awesome. So this is becoming my main. This is
You know what was also awesome this year? We hit episode 1000 on August 23rd. That episode was published. And we have 3 clips from that episode. So
we've never monetization outside of subscription has never been accepted. I feel like, right?
No,
like,
it hasn't.
We've
Monetization outside of what?
Subscription.
Subscription.
Yeah, it's just.
I thought you said conscription, and I was like, what? Hello?
You could script it to play RuneScape, young man.
Of course, it's episode 1000 talking about monetization. How would it be any other thing?
I mean, it has to be, right? Yeah, and and being drafted. I love it.
Drafted to play RuneScape, hitting 1000 and beyond at this point. We also sought out the creator of Elemental Workshop that episode.
No, that's right. I mean, I much prefer just a GP sync rather than having to make more bars and such to repair it, like with your masterwork where you have to make extra masterwork.
I got it.
Yep.
Mod Doctor.
Mod Doctor. I don't think I remember him.
Yeah. He took over the Elemental Workshop series after Dylan left and had the blueprint for the next 3 Elemental Workshop quest lines.
3?
Yeah.
Jeez, come on.
Well, come on, Mod Doctor, let's get him out.
But he doesn't work there anymore.
Well, come back, Mod Doctor, and finish what you're supposed to do and then quit.
Mod Coroner.
I'd love to have the rest of the Elemental Workshop quests in.
We know how I feel about it, but I wouldn't mind some pants. I forgot all about that.
Yeah, that goes to exactly what Afrinick was discussing a few episodes back.
And something to like make it relevant, where it was like, yeah, okay, but never again a puzzle like that.
Oh, that's what Elemental Workshop is all about.
Okay, but not like it wasn't the last one, but it was the one before that, and it's the worst puzzle ever.
You know what is actually an interesting puzzle in terms of my year of RS? It's the puzzle, the light puzzle, the multiple light puzzles from Song with the Elves, or Song of the Elves on Old School. That's a puzzle. That's a puzzle.
Yeah. Okay.
So.
Well, you just you just enlightened me. I will not be doing that then.
But here's the thing, Tanis. There's a plugin for Old School called Quest Helper. And it highlights what you need to click on, what dialogue options, what you need to click on in the world, and it puts arrows to them. And it worked for that puzzle. Sirion and I did the first 2 puzzles because there was like 8 or 10 light puzzles in that quest. We did the first 2 on our own, managing it. But then we said, "Oh yeah, we need to do this, or we're going to be here for 8 hours." So he used a guide. I used Quest Helper.
Okay.
So it's interesting. It's interesting. And then we talked about taking away the high scores. How much is our XP balance in game right now balanced around the XP lamps coming in? And is that part of the reason why we have people chasing, 110s, 120s, and 200 mils?
But like Pern's saying, if your high score tables are frozen and have been frozen for I don't know how long.
Decades.
Necromancy, really.
It just doesn't. Well, right, necromancy. I mean, every new skill, and maybe new skills. Maybe you do a whole embargo during that time,
which they do.
Right.
Yeah.
I'm just saying, like, if you take away the high scores, then no one's XP affects anyone else's. So I have never understood why.
I feel like that's the most radical idea we've ever presented on the update. Take away the high scores.
No, not take away.
What?
Set aside the high
Candace,
scores.
are you out of your damn mind?
Leave him for a month if that happens.
Set aside the high scores. Take them out of the
equation. Amazing how such a little misspeak there can throw the entire discussion into chaos.
Yeah, just a tad.
And we're being proven right on that again, that the game is balanced primarily to take into account those treasure hunter options with our group Iron Man characters, in that everything I feel, at least through the mid game, just feels a lot more natural in terms of progression without that.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
Episode 1001, Cheesy Mite subscriptions. Oh boy. We got our first clip here from pre-show. Hello, everybody, and welcome to another episode of RSBANDB Update this week. You folks might have thought it would be a bit of a quiet week after the big 1000, but we have more to talk about in terms of RuneScape value for members. Tanis, welcome to the show again.
Thank you, Shane.
Are you looking forward to what we have to discuss? Maybe a little bit fiery?
I mean, yes, but I have questions. I have more questions than answers this week.
Okay, fair enough. Parnassius is also here. Welcome aboard.
Thank you once again.
And you just purchased
it's like 6 weeks in a row.
You just purchased your primal from the store.
Yeah, so I decided first time I've ever bought a cosmetic, and I like it, and I want to sort of tell them this is a good way to go selling cosmetics.
Yeah, well, we'll see what the value has to say in just a wee bit here. But, of course, if you want to follow along, full show notes can be found at update.show. We have a friends chat in-game at BitsBytes, and the Discord can be found at update.show/Discord. And I would also like to give a big, huge thank you to our experienced tier Patreon members this week, who are Amos Reed, Andrew C., Bladecom, Drama Free, Jason S., Jesse W., Kesky, Lemon Lodge, Mr. T, Ricky A, Rippeth, Runestar, The Naked Captain, Tim, and Truth Ray. Big, huge thank you to all of these people. And as we mentioned last week, for everybody who's been signed up prior to episode 1000, the episode 1000 goodies are in the process of being fulfilled right now, but more a little bit later on our Patreon offerings. All right.
I also want to say it's great to see B.A. Baracus, Mr. T, being part of the show.
Yeah, it's a good name. I mean, if anybody else wants to have a name like that read out, feel free to change your Patreon profile.
I'm gonna sign up as Elon Musk.
Ooh, that's interesting. Oh shit! I forgot to press the record button on the video version of it. We got to do that again.
The video.
I'm gonna do my joke again.
Yeah. Sorry.
Okay.
In 3, 2, 1. Hello, everybody, and welcome to another episode. Oh, I forgot the timer that time. Oh my god, 1,000 episodes in, still making mistakes.
The more things change, the more things stay the same.
In 3, 2, 1. And we got it off for real after that time. With that, you can obviously see there that there were things 1,000 episodes in that just still, slip the mind. And I usually run a video recording of the screen for it to just have as a backing component for the YouTube. So that's it. That's what that was.
If you say so.
Oh.
Just messing with you, Shane.
Okay. And that's pretty much how our intros usually go. It's just fun giving you guys a bit of a behind the scenes of how the show runs normally week to week. But let's get on to the Cheesy Mite itself.
Yeah. I mean, I go down to Baker's Delight sometimes, and I can buy one Cheesy Mite scroll for I think it's $3.70.
Easy,
or I get
mate.
2 for
Wait,
$6.
hold on. Stop.
You haven't had a cheesy Mite scroll.
What is a cheesy? Is this like Vegemite?
Oh,
what is going on with the ice and the mites and
it's
my land down
Vegemite.
under?
It's Vegemite and cheese in basically a scroll, like a.
That sounds disgusting.
It is delicious. You put it in the microwave for 30 seconds. And it is magnificent. So you go down there. It's $3.70 each, or 2 for $6. I always buy 2 for $6. Half the time, the second one sits on my on the bench and gets thrown out. But because I feel like one of those. But I always buy the 2 because sometimes I'll eat it, but most of the times it sits there and I forget about it. But
tick one thing on the list that I will not be trying if I ever go to Australia.
Really? Oh, because you don't like cheese. Yeah,
correct.
You don't like cheese. Oh.
Correct. And from what I understand, Vegemite on its own, you either love it or you hate it, or acquire the taste over time.
That's what I hear. But really, the only thing I know about it is it's in the Land Down Under song. So.
That and Crocodile Dundee, the main Australian stereotypes people have.
Yes.
And, of course, with that, we come to Temple Trekking and Dominion Tower, talking more about the future of our Group Iron Man progress, such as mining with the attuned Moonstone to help make things more engaging and enjoyable. Apparently, people want more of that, and here we thought it might have been too random.
Oh, well, how about this, guys? Next time, Temple Trekking.
Shut up. Shut up. That's
how much you like it then.
That's the stupidest thing I've heard in this north of 1,000 on this show.
I'll back you in that, Tannerson, and I'll go even further and add what's that other place Shane hates in the desert, the tower,
the Dominion Tower.
Dominion Tower. We'll do something in there as well.
Planning for Group Iron Man, the both of you there already. And, Temple Trekking, Dominion Tower, and the Mage Training Arena. Probably the 3 of the 5 things I hate the most in RS in terms of the content.
I mean, you did pick 3 kind of, bummers.
Can I add Barbarian Assault to the list?
Dude, Barbarian Assault shouldn't exist. I'm sorry. Its time has come and passed. It shouldn't. Needs to be old Yellard.
And see, that's the thing, and that's why I said, even with this league that's going on right now in Old School, I pick Candor and I make it very clear to myself, I will not touch Barbarian Assault. Because I just hate the content, and, I did it on RS3, and I really, really don't want to go back ever to any of those. But, anyways. Moving on to episode 1004, Hard to Spacebar, and exactly how we're supposed to treat our cabbages in-game, and another one involving the appropriate amount of pressure needed to spacebar through a quest.
Only 2 that matters.
And then there's Brassica Prime, who is just so far above that the edicts don't even affect him. The one true God. The one true faith.
It's true.
Yeah.
Brassica Prime, who was just covering for Bill while he was out at the market in Alcarid.
Oh.
Praise him.
Yeah, what's to say the cabbage on the stick wasn't Brassica Prime?
Don't know which cabbage that was.
Yeah, you can't identify cabbages easily. I can't. Can you?
Only when they put party hats on.
Yeah, I've been to the grocery store before, and they all look the same.
That is cabbage racist, Shane.
No, it's not.
This cabbage racist show title.
Oh, God. Amazing.
Your beautiful naivete. I don't know where it comes from, but
we're talking about Brassica Prime and a vegetable.
Stay gold, pony boy.
I don't even know what the thing is with that one that you're connecting to.
What the Brassica Prime?
No, cabbages.
Or
I know who Brassica is.
Yeah, it's that you said they all look the same.
Yeah, and most vegetables do. Like if I take 2 carrots together,
they do, but we don't say that about sentient things.
Oh, right. See, I was just talking about the vegetables in the store, not Brassica.
Ah, okay.
Yeah.
Well, we were just trying to give you shit, but...
Yeah, fair enough. Hey, and we get to bring the PVMers along for Quest Week for all these weeks, because they love having to do their quests, right?
They better learn.
Well, there's no quest helper plugin here that basically tells them what buttons to push and how hard to spacebar. So they still gotta, do a bit.
How hard to spacebar? 2 newtons of pressure. You hold it down just right. The inputs skip just enough.
You do the Homer Simpson thing. You get one of those little drinking birds.
We've never really talked about it before, how much you need to push your spacebar down. And then Avernick was a little bit distraught after the show that he said pressure instead of force, because obviously Newton is the measurement for force. So we just love going into those sorts of things like that down the rabbit hole.
Yeah, didn't even pick up on it.
Okay, fair enough.
Take your word for it.
Fair enough. Episode 1005, A Boss is a Boss. Oh, I know what this one's about, and it was a Patreon mix-up. You remember the A Boss is a Boss episode?
Yeah, it's the skilling boss, and it's still a boss, and it's still a boss.
Yep, so here's the clip. Apparently I can't follow the list this week, folks. Anyways, big thank you to all of our Patreon members out there for allowing us to do what we do here. It's already going off the rails, but that's fine. That's
Yay!
fine. Their support and their patronage is fully, and what the fuck is going on with me? I'm gonna
clip show. Hello. Do you want to start again?
No, I'm gonna start again. I'm gonna start again after the names.
Go get.
Like, did you guys catch how I was off on that list?
Nope. Not even a little.
Oh, okay.
not even when you mentioned, like, I guess he messed up the alphabet. I don't know.
I did mess up the alphabet list there when going through the Patreon spot. And as you can tell, like I mentioned earlier, the Patreon spots are 100% unscripted. And that one just went off the rails like the one did earlier in the year. But I guess if it was only 2 in the year, that's okay.
And we didn't even notice.
Yep, because it was all cleaned up in post, but you're hearing about it now on the Clip Show. Episode 1006, Clickbox Gate, talking about the U.S. presidents. I loved Richard Nixon, by the way. I wasn't around for his presidency, but he's one of my favorites. Anyways, we'll more on that another day, another time for the show, folks. I have many favorite U.S. presidents. I also like JFK, just to show that I can work across the aisle. I also like Bill Clinton. Anyways,
Mr. Lewinsky.
Yeah, that's what he was in the 90s, wasn't he? Oh boy, wow, we're off the tracks here, and we're only 3 minutes in. I figure it's okay to talk about them if they were, if they left office 20 years ago. They age like a fine wine, right?
Could you say we brought the show to its knees?
Oh no!
I'm gonna just leave that one
I had to do that one.
Pretty good.
Oh that's kind of how we can go off the track here, folks. I like history. I like looking at American history, and I have a good collection of favorite U.S. presidents I could run down the list.
And I bet you I wouldn't be all that surprised.
No. And I think everybody, when you look at world leaders for what they've done, even if you don't agree with them politically, as I don't, a number of the people I mentioned on the list, aspects of them, you can still appreciate what they did, for the wider track of the country, like Richard Nixon getting impeached and whatnot. He, still did some good things for the U.S., I think, at the end of the day. Allegedly, yeah. Episode 1007, Achieving Combat, hearing that there will be combat mastery achievements coming in 2025. We had the combat group on of Bears and Thaxi for that. First one, we have a clip that was edited out. Almost set to sneeze there. I'll make a note about that.
We didn't scare the shit out of everyone today.
That's for next week.
Yeah.
The spoopy season is coming.
You guys remember those old jump scare videos?
Yes. Great to put on for a dog on the big screen when they're
really?
The dog go nuts.
Have you done
put it
that?
up there and watch the dog. Yeah. My pug she fell. One of my pugs jumps up and gets up. She puts it because I got a big 80-inch wall mounted OLED with big sound bar underneath. She gets up there when there's animals on there and barks. And I just there was one where the horses were running along, so she's up there barking, and then the skeleton, the zombie skeleton thing just jumps up and goes, ah! She fell off the chair. She rolled all the way down to the floor, and she stopped jumping up on the TV for about a week after that, but yeah, she's gone back to it, so I might have to do it again.
I hope that wasn't the old one with the hip problems.
No, she just sits on my lap. She doesn't do anything. This is one of the other ones, so the playful ones.
Okay, well, that was an interesting sidetrack.
But rewards-wise...
From presidents to jump scares.
Yes. Dog jump scares, even.
I'm sure you've had some experiences like that.
Ours are pretty good about that, but my mom had one that she couldn't watch Animal Planet. The same dog, if they had a pool and if you were splashed, he would just start barking and going nuts. So I used to call him the lifeguard because he didn't allow any funny business in the pool.
Wow. All right. The other clip from that episode comes from the post show. Do I support Israel?
Where did that come from?
It's an ad on the RSBANDB website presently.
Oof.
Oh, that's the web. Yeah, like our website. This is interesting. Okay, Google. No phone. Go away.
I got a YouTube TV.
I didn't need to search for no phone. Go away. My God.
What phone do you have?
I have a Google Pixel.
Oh, good. Right on. I like.
I
the
literally
Pixel.
did. I absolutely just did the Hey Alexa to my own phone. Oh goodness.
Unwinding from the episode and just anything like that can generally happen, I guess, is a good way of saying it there.
Yeah, I know that I've had my share of accidental triggers on the old Home Assistant.
Yeah, and we've got a few of those on the show. None this year, though. None this year. Episode 1008, Pleading for Harvest Hollow, another word issue. With this is that I don't think it's going to be as big of a hoobaloo,
what the hell's a hoobaloo?
Or whatever the word is, as
hoobaloo. Got it in one.
As people are making it out to be. And the correct word there is hullabaloo. Hullabaloo.
Yes.
That's what I was going for.
Yeah, like both of you kind of put your Canadian kind of slang on it or whatever.
Also, with that, we move on to episode 1009, getting closer and closer to Group Iron Man.
And the funny thing is, like, if you have bonus experience, it's like, bless you, Shane.
Happy Halloween!
Indeed. And it's like...
And there's the sneeze that just comes out of nowhere. Out of nowhere.
Yep. They sneak up on us.
They do. They really do, and even me in some cases. Because if I can feel it on the way, I'll press the mute button, and sometimes they just don't. So, episode 1009 also had a clip from the post show where I messed up the title, and that's also another thing that can happen from time to time. This is RSBANDB Update, episode 1009, recorded Thursday, October 24th, 2015. It's not 2015. Where did that come from?
I was thinking the same thing. I'm like, what? This is an old clip. How'd that get in
it's
there?
an old episode, too.
But to be fair, you do, like, you say a lot of words, and you don't do a whole lot of takes. So,
no. And that's amazing that it comes out the way it's supposed to.
Yeah. Credit.
Yeah, episode 1012, well into Group Iron Man now, skipping ahead 3 weeks and talking about the need to do quests on the account.
Good.
Yeah. And
they don't have to all be tied to a big story.
No, I don't think they should.
That's what I love, and going back, they're the ones I'm enjoying the most. Playing on my
right?
Iron Man
yeah,
now.
It's the one-offs.
Yeah, they're fun.
What is
the real RS feel to them?
What do you guys think Garagast
What is fun?
Oh, quest, Tannis. Quests are fun.
What?
Yeah.
Oh, that was a dig.
I'm sorry
for that.
Quests are
funny,
fun for everyone.
Well, most people. Tannis does get a pass on this one.
We were kind of raking you over the coals there for not doing quests, but the reality of it is, for a long time, I actually had the lowest amount of quest points in the entire group.
Oh, yeah. Oh, that's funny. And, yeah, no, I joke, but I don't enjoy a lot of the quest. Yeah.
And I mean,
That's
hey,
okay.
if there's a decent reward that we need to get from them, we'll do that. And I don't know. Did you read the RS News this week that for the Dealing with Scavers quest coming in January, they're getting rid of the Menaphos reputation requirements?
Oh, that's cool, because I'd probably... Well, no, I'm sure I do have this point.
I'm sure you have the skills. It's just a matter of sitting down and doing the quests before that arrives. Now.
Well, yeah, that it is. But,
yeah. We'll be talking about that on 1017.
Boom.
We also do have one from Post Show on that episode. Show title ideas. I wrote down quests are fun for everyone.
Well,
Sure.
That's pretty good. Yeah.
That's the little song I made up.
Shane, thoughts?
I like quests. I just haven't got around to them yet. I will happily do any RS3 quest after the garbage of the most recent Barlowmore ones.
Yo, those are the words of somebody who has not recently done Ratcatchers or Garden of Tranquility, and I'm sorry. You're wrong.
Ratcatchers will probably be my last old school quest.
Ratcatchers is required for the medium Varrock diary in RS3.
Yeah. Sure.
Required. And you have to do the minigame for it afterwards.
Remove that content.
The thing that gives you the thing that gives you like double ore chance when you wear it. That thing, the one for mining and smithing.
They need to remove
requires this.
I want rat catchers to be removed.
Me too. Of all the quests, I thought they did. I thought they did remove it. They removed the rat pits. Like, you had the chance, Jagex. Replace this gold garbage. Like, and it was made by one of the original Gowers. I think it's one of the last quests made by whatever one of the Gower brothers did their quests. So, like, I think it was me, and it was
Paul.
Anyways, yeah, Paul. And so, like, for its time, it was fine. But, like, it's not fine anymore. That quest, the writing is bad. The gameplay is awful. And it's so long. It's like one small favor. You gotta go like 5 different people none of whom make any sense while you have your own internal monologue.
I just hate the fucking cat gameplay.
Yeah. It takes forever, too.
Still haven't done rat catchers and have no plan to in the immediate short-term period.
Me neither.
Yeah.
Me neither.
I think that's amen to that. Moving on to episode 113, showering with the nubbies, discussing Tannis's favorite piece of content that was removed.
Pretty interesting to watch. Not a PvPer myself, but I can respect it.
Yes, old school.
Yeah,
old school, definitely.
Their combat is legacy, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. I think the most skilled part of PK and old school is rounding up your buddies to go fuck someone's day up.
Yeah, there does seem to be just like a lot of fundamentally unfair like ganking. Like I remember like when I was more active on old school, or like active, like I said, back 2 years ago. Like the meta back then in like PvP was just like dragon spear the shit out of people so that they can't put prayer up.
Now, unless do you have a place where say 2 people could go and on agreed rules have a chivalrous duel?
I don't even think so. I don't know. I guess there's still single combat, I assume, but
Tannis is a big proponent of the duel arena not going away.
Oh, yeah. Oh boy.
For more reasons than one, right?
Well, it's like you have to have asylums. You have to put them somewhere, right?
Well, that's one way of looking at it, but you have another way. I don't know if you want to share that potential rule-breaking content there now that the duel arena's gone, or how do you feel about that?
I mean, I don't think it's no rule breaking or nothing.
Okay.
It's just I've had friends that did very well and have paid for many premier clubs or memberships. So,
And the question is, how much GP was being moved, and what is the ethical thing around moving GP like that at the duel arena? I guess that's the big thing at the end of the day, right?
I mean, at the end of that's what people. I mean, that's the argument. I don't know. I think it was people shouldn't gamble that can't handle gambling. That's my takeaway at the end of the day. Yeah.
Yeah, I like gambling in real life, and I think it's okay to be allowed. But you have to question how exactly you're going to put something like that up in a game if you're going to do it, and if it appears in somewhere like the duel arena, what is Jagex's policy stance on that? So that's why it was removed. We go to monthly bits 77, looking at the gods through the 6th age, and there is another clip with this one here.
I guess that's why I put the daughters thing on there because, like, they kind of left
relevant.
vestiges.
So when we touch Saradomin, we'll look at Adrastea.
Whoa!
I mean, when we touch on Saradomin.
Whoa!
Then when we touch on Zamorak, we'll look at Moya.
That's fine.
Zamorak likes being touched.
It's true.
Yeah, just look at how he's dressed.
I was about to say there's a very obscure lore. No.
Why is it that the Mongerot became the RuneScape erotic ones?
Because
they're horny.
The fan art community exists.
Yeah.
See, I had no idea there that I misspoke until Zerdone said something. I thought Earth was just being Earth.
Well, you do run that risk.
Yeah, whereas I meant to say touch on Zerdone, and instead I dropped the on there. So, episode 1015 edited out a random interaction with a spider.
There was the spider dropping down from the lamp directly in front of me. I am not Australian. Where's it? Let's fix this right now.
And it's getting to the middle of the winter there. How do you... Never mind.
I mean, what do you mean, how do I? I, put them outside when I see them, and that's the end of it.
Okay.
Done.
Do you? Nah, you kill them, mate. You kill them.
I mean, I kill yours. Anyways, back to business. The store's good.
This was just in the middle of the show. It just happened, and I'm like, okay, I'll just sit here and go through this. And I removed it because it was a bit of a sidetrack from the discussion, and I figured it made a fun clip. But here we are.
I mean, I'm sure it was a side distraction for Taxi too. Spiders have a tendency of doing that, catching your attention.
Yeah, but at least they're not. At least they can't kill people in the U.S.
That's true.
Yeah. That's true. Episode 1016, Eternally Woodcutting, the penultimate clip. A clip from pre-show about feeling old. Yeah.
Anyway, Sandland's going to be fun, too.
No, it's not. Anyways.
On the Ocean Blue.
Ports came out 12 years ago this week.
Really? Oh, I love Ports.
Damn, we played this game a long fucking time, boys.
I think that's another reason. The skull should come out next year.
Mining and smithing rework is almost 6 years old.
Oh, dear God. Do you know the woodcutting and fletching rework is about like a week old?
Yeah. Like it used to be my kid that started making me feel like old, and now it's fucking RuneScape. God damn it.
Yeah.
It does suck to think about, like, oh yeah, the World Wakes is over a decade ago.
Yeah.
And it still feels like we're in that era to an extent.
We're not.
I think I mentioned this on the bit last or 2 weeks ago. Like we are farther away from the World Wakes than the World Wakes is from the start of RuneScape.
Yeah.
I mean, that's pretty nuts. Right? Like that is.
And old school defines itself as being part of that first part that's now smaller.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like
the even smaller.
I wonder part. Though, like, should I feel bad because I don't think I really would have liked the very beginning all that much. Like, I'm glad I came when I came because
that's not bad.
We were different back then. Content, and years worth of content that just keeps piling up and building this game. Player-owned ports, one of those being 12 years old, Janice.
It is nuts, and it is nuts that a game can make you feel old, because I don't know if there is another single game that could ever make that claim.
I mean, maybe if you were playing World of Warcraft from start to finish.
Perhaps.
But content-wise, you don't have things that are added in, to the classics like Counter-Strike. And every year there's a new Call of Duty, so it's not like you're loading up Call of Duty 4 from 2007 today. At least most people don't.
Exactly.
Whereas we can just take a walk down the proverbial street in RS and say, here's ports, this came out in 2012. We can head a walk through West Ardoyan into the Underground Pass and say, this came out in 2003. 21 years ago.
Yes, you can. For better or worse.
And that brings us to the last clip of the year. Presumably, unless there's any from this coming episode, in which they'll be inserted in the post-show role, from the What Makes PVM Fun monthly bit.
I think it feels awful to go dry, more so than it feels really good to go wet. To get really lucky.
I didn't like that.
No, I didn't either. But like,
and that's that. I don't think I need to say anything about that one, but those two just had that moment there on the show.
You know, if you ever go and dry too long, you know what you need to do, Shane?
Get some bad luck mitigation.
No, you gotta get on that thing.
Okay, that's enough. That's enough. I realize this is the clip show, but that's enough.
It's all the rage, and well, actually, she's probably going to jail, but yeah.
I don't know what that is, and I feel like we should stop at this point. Whatever that is. But that brings us to the end of the clips for the year. We do have one piece of business left. Our picks of the year. Do you want to start off, or should I?
Go ahead and take it away, Shane.
All right. So what we do is that we go through the clips the picks from the pick of the week segment. And these can be our picks. They can be somebody else's picks, in terms of, what made a good, pick of the week that we would, come back to at the end of the year and say, yeah, this was good for the year. This changed things, for us. So I have a game that goes back to, I believe it was February or March, and it's Helldivers 2. Now, for people who haven't had a chance to play this game yet, it's a third-person shooter where you're bent on bringing freedom and liberty to alien civilizations, and in doing that, you unlock various kits and tools throughout the way. And they had an entire arc this year where they were the hot sauce of games, just going up and up and up on the Steam charts. And then they went down through, a community management fiasco, let's just say, to the point where people, were just, uninstalling the game en masse and people were boycotting it. I was not a part of the group that thought it needed to be boycotted. But as we were recording last Thursday, and this is why this is pick of the year, they just hot dropped a new expansion with a new faction and a whole bunch of new updates, including ground vehicles and whatnot, totally unannounced at that games conference that was happening last Thursday. So the fact that they keep iterating and bringing new things into the game throughout the year, and that it was just one of the most dynamic game experiences that I've had probably since Overwatch, that I enjoyed, that makes this my pick of the year. So if you're into shooters, first person, third person, what have you, and you haven't played it yet this year, Helldivers 2, that's my pick of the year.
Cool. Right on.
What do you got?
So I got one that I used a lot at different times. I was out quite a bit this year just because we had a family health kind of emergency crisis. And I was like kind of a caretaker, so a lot of time, I would be just kind of sitting around waiting, watching. And in that time, Apple allowed for the Delta emulator to go on the App Store. And this basically let you play all of your, emulator games. So, NES, Super NES. I primarily just play a lot of, the old NES games that I grew up with and stuff. But, Apple's always been, they never really played well with emulators.
No, it was like forbidden to the point where if you even, discussed it in your app, you were banned from the App Store.
Yeah, so it was kind of a big deal, and and the nice thing is, you can connect your Xbox controller to your iPad, and and now you've got your controller, and you can even
that's the big ticket, is that you can now use an Xbox controller to control these emulated games, and then if you really wanted to play it old school, you can AirPlay that screen to an Apple TV, and you basically have whatever game system from the olden days on your modern TV.
Yeah, It's slick, and I spent many hours with it, so that's definitely, I mean, that's my pick of the year. It's nostalgic. It's, everything that you want from an emulator, but it runs smooth. It looks good. It kind of has that Apple quality kind of to it. You know what I mean? Even though it's not like an Apple, but just the mere fact it's on the App Store, it seems to have just a decent quality to it. Like they run good. And
yeah, and I mean, there's always going to be a gray area about whether or not the ROMs are legal to be passing around. And, you can say there's people who are going to make their own ROMs and whatnot from their games because they want to back those up because they have those old cartridge games have batteries in them that quit over time. So if you want to save that, what was your save from then, this is the best way to do it. So there's that. And by the virtue of having it on the App Store means you don't need to worry about jailbreaking your device and installing something that could potentially ruin your device or steal your data or inject malware. So this is a better way of going about it. For people who might be wanting to get interested in this at the end of the year, it supports NES, Super Nintendo, N64, Game Boy Color, Game Boy Advance, Nintendo DS, and Sega Genesis support is in beta. And it can support pretty much any controller that works with iOS. Of course, the big ones being the Xbox controllers, but it also supports Switch Pro, the Joy-Cons, Switch Online controllers, PS4, PS5, any MFI certified game controller, and generic Bluetooth and wired keyboards, plus the Apple Smart Keyboard with trackpad and whatnot. So tremendous level of support there available. Yeah. And I don't think we ever foresaw the day that something like this would be added to the App Store, let alone for free.
Well, no. Yeah, exactly. I mean, that's just... I remember the days of the old Raspberry Pis and stuff, and this just, makes it not necessary and so much better.
Yeah, and simpler too. So, and that's what we like for pick of the year. We like things that change the way we look at tech, the way we look at our software, and hopefully, throughout this venture that was 2024, as this comes out in early 2025. Hopefully you guys enjoy the break and everything that we have done this year. And, we always say that the podcast isn't the podcast without the community. So big, huge thank you, of course, to everybody out there for allowing us to do what we do each and every week on the show. It does mean the world to us. And normally I say that for the Patreon members, but it's the entire community. We wouldn't be here without you guys.
All the time. That's right.
Yeah. I also realized I misspoke earlier. This episode is not coming out on January 23rd. This episode, or January 3rd. Oh, wow. This episode is coming out on December 27th, and then on the 23rd, we have a book review of Guthix's Gift, the most recent novel. We did an episode discussion on that too with Parnassus and Havernick. So that's coming out next week. I messed up the clip show and that launch. So you can look forward to seeing that review of The Gift of Guthix. But big huge thank you to our community, Patreon members, everybody for allowing us to do what we do. Big huge thank you to all of our guests who came on the show this year, whether it be for one episode or repeat appearances. And, of course, to the team who, does a lot behind the scenes, whether it's, gathering little patch notes, saying, hey, let's make sure we focus on this week so we don't overlook it. There's a whole bunch of people, episode by episode, just providing input here and there. We try to mention most of them on the producer for each show if they had input into how that show was going to be discovered. But there's other little bits and bobs too that everybody puts together. So big thank you to them, and of course to the co-host this year, you, Tanis, and to a lesser degree Parnassus as well, for filling in for you while you were away this summer.
Yes, very much so. Thanks to the second most popular Australian host.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. I'm surprised we didn't get a clip of when that started.
I know.
But anything else from you before we wrap up the year?
No. Enjoy the holidays, and yeah.
We'll be back in January for Dealing with Scabras, the first big update of the year, in addition to catching up with what we've been up to on Group Iron Man. So until then, if you want the podcast delivered to you each and every week when it arrives, subscribe, update.show/subscribe. We're on all the major podcast listening services out there, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Pocket Casts, YouTube as well, youtube.com/RSBANDB. And with that being said, we'll see you guys next week for another episode of RSBANDB Update. See you then, everyone. Take care.
See ya.